Quick disclaimer here at the beginning of the video, my voice has been impacted by a cold, but I hope you can live with it and we can power through this video together. What we have here in front of us is without a doubt the most anticipated aircraft model from Herpa Wings in 2023. But how has Herpa done with this aircraft model? Well, we will find out in today's episode of review thanks to the great prices of the FMB shop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A320-200 of Wizzair. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of that we have the Wizzair branding. Now, a new feature on the Herpa box is this addition here, which shows you how you can recycle the packaging of your aircraft model. Now, if this is Herpa's statement about, well, how crap their box is, or if this is required by law, I don't know, but when we look at the backside of the box, I think it is very fitting that Herpa shows how people can get rid of this utter nonsense. But of course, quick disclaimer, never get rid of the original packaging if you ever want to resell your models. And here she is, the Airbus A320-200 in the current standard livery of Wizzair. And as I said in the beginning of the video, probably the most anticipated aircraft model in 2023 from Herpa Wings. Collectors have been begging Herpa to create such an aircraft model for years, and finally we get the Wizzair A320, and there's even hope for more Wizzair aircraft models in the near future. We are all definitely crossing our fingers for that. But how has Herpa managed to do with this aircraft model? The anticipation has been there, the hype has been there, but can Herpa live up to the expectations? We'll find out by taking a closer look at the aircraft model itself, starting off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have, well, the Wizzair, color scheme. On the fuselage, there we find the Hungarian flag and the full registration code of the aircraft, and as well the web address of the airline. And then towards the very tail of the aircraft, we do have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. Then on top of the fuselage, we find a set dome. And as hard as it is for me to criticize Herpa when they actually do add details, I have to criticize them here because the set dome is massively oversized. The real aircraft does have a set dome right there, but it is much smaller. We've seen the same issue with recent Condor A321 releases, and as much as I appreciate Herpa adding a set dome to an aircraft, I think in this case a print would have been the better option. But let's move on to the front of the aircraft, where we across the fuselage find the writing of Wiz, which of course is the Wizzair branding. We do also have some static ports, which is always a nice addition, but that's pretty much the detailing we find here. It's not really a different story for the cockpit section itself, where we have the cockpit windows with the window wipers, and that's pretty much it. It is all in line with the current Herpa standard, but it's definitely nothing that exciting. Still, the cockpit section itself actually resembles that of an A320, or at least as close as Herpa manages to get to it these days, because often they do screw this up quite a bit more than they've done here. So what's the story with the engines? Well, the engine nacelles have been colored in the pink color we also find in the middle section of the fuselage, have the silver leading edge and safety markings printed on, as well as the Wizzair.com branding. So that's quite lovely actually. Also, the physical detailing of these engines is, I think, quite nice, especially here from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. Then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we have the emergency exits printed on, which leads us straight to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out quite nicely actually, and we also have the markings for the emergency exits printed on. The underside of the wings has more nice physical detailing, and here we also have the full registration code of the aircraft once again. And then, of course, the wings of this A320 have been fitted with the winglets. Now, unfortunately, Herpa is very inconsistent with those, so we do need to check them individually for every single aircraft model, how they have bent them. In this case, I think they have managed to get the angle pretty much all right, so that's good. And also, overall, the look of the winglets on this aircraft model is pretty nice with the Wizzair branding. The landing gear, that is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all the A320 family aircraft models, which is good for the main landing gear, which looks pretty decent in my opinion. The front landing gear, however, is as always massively oversized, And of course, we do not have any printed details here. What a disappointment. And then on the belly of the aircraft, we do have a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model. Now, it doesn't destroy any printed details, which is a plus because that's really annoying when it happens. But I just don't get it. I mean, just leave a hole away. It doesn't add anything. And who in their right mind buys these stands separately for a Scale 500 model? And then finally, we do have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and then here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A320-200 in the current standard livery of Wizzair from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Now let's be real, we have all been a little bit hyped about this aircraft model, but everything about it screams Herpa Standard 2023, and that's not a good thing. So we do of course have the standard issue with the oversized front landing gear. Because of Herpa's poor quality control, it is also always recommended to check the winglets on such a model. We have Herpa's questionable choice with the set dome, and worst of all, we do actually also have some issues with the print, because where the colors are transitioning, well, you always have a very visible line, and that should not be like that. But before you think I'm just hating on this aircraft model, there are also good things. Because apart from the questionable color transitions, the rest of the print is actually spot on, and from most angles when looking at the cockpit, well, this actually does resemble the look of an A320, which Herpa very rarely manages. And finally, and definitely the best reason why you should get this aircraft model if you're collecting Scale 500 is the fact that it has the Wizzair livery. So yes, of course, Herpa has not produced a banger here, but it is so heavily carried by the Wizzair livery that I in this case just don't care. Which is why I've gone to the, for me, extreme of actually buying this model twice. And I know for a fact that I'm not alone in that. So if you want to add this aircraft model to your collection, then do not wait. If you don't want to get robbed by scalpers, then buy it now at retailers, because it's already sold out at Herpa and it will go very quickly at retailers as well. So in this case, if you did not pre-order it, good hunting, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. With that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.